Hello chess lovers, Soren here, and in today's video I want to share with you a game which the 8th world chess champion Mikhail Tal played against 12-year-old American chess player Robert Seltzer during a chess simul he gave at Framingham Chess Club. On seltzerbooks.com you can find some wonderful photos from that simul. Here is Tal making a move against Seltzer, and in this photo already I can see a sacrificed queen. Yes, black rook stands on g3. We will now cover that game. Yes, we will now see what's happening on the board. Spectators are carefully watching the games. I can even see a cameraman recording this simul. Would have liked to see, of course, this match. And here, I guess the website belongs to Seltzer. Here he provides the annotation of the game. And here is the score sheet. This should be Mikhail Tal's signature. But before starting the game, here is what Larry Eldridge writes about this simul. Again, it's taken from Seltzer's website. Finally, the big night arrived. I and 29 other intrepid souls, each having paid $50 for the privilege, sat down at rows of tables while 100 or so spectators jammed into the Framingham Chess Club to hear Tal give a lecture and then watch him demolish player after player. The lecture was most interesting as Tal related anecdotes from his career, then answered questions on just about every chess subject imaginable. Tal's overall score was 26 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses, but the big one, of course, was the game with young Seltzer. Perhaps the veteran grandmaster expected to shake up his young opponent and dazzle him in the ensuing complications. Undoubtedly, he did not realize that the youngster sitting across from him was not just your average 12-year-old, but the reigning national elementary champion and a competitor who had already achieved the level of candidate master. Indeed, Bobby was undoubtedly one of the strongest players in that room, as Tal now began to find out. Back to our chessboard, and we are good to start the game. Tal opened up with e4, to which Seltzer answered with c5. The 12-year-old chess player goes for Sicilian defense, and I guess Tal was really happy seeing this opening on the board. It gives white nice attacking chances. Against Najdorf we have this main line with bishop g5, e6, f4, bishop e7, queen f3, so Tal is choosing a very aggressive setup. Here usually black is playing knight bd7 or b5. In the game we have h6. Earlier this had been seen many times. First it was Robert Fischer who used this idea in 1957, and yeah, years later in 1988 we see that move made by Seltzer. Here it is. At the time Seltzer's rating was only 2109. Bishop retreats, knight bd7, bishop e2, g5. An interesting idea, of course, which aims to free the e5 square for the knight. There we have it. After f takes g5, black knight lands on the central e5, queen g3, rook g8, and it was in here that Tal decided to make queen sacrifice and played g takes f6. He could, of course, play calmly, like make a move like knight f3, but with g takes f6 move, a little bit dubious sacrifice, let me tell you. White is not gaining much, and soon we will see that it's black who is managing to get a nice play. After bishop f8 we have knight f3, after which black is gaining advantage. Better was playing g4, followed by a3, for example, if b5. If b4, then a takes b4, and then b takes a5, and in this case we have a more or less equal game. Queen b6, g5, this is one of the possible ways of proceeding the game. Against the queen, white has a rook, a knight, and 2 pawns. All in all, we have an equal battle. But in our game, after bishop f8, we have knight f3. With this move, white is allowing knight g4 jump. Now the threat is knight f2, forking the rooks. That's why Tal played rook d2, b5, knight d4. Knight goes back on e5. bishop h5. Well, this bishop is not doing much on h5, and better was stopping this b-pawn's advance with a3. In our game we have bishop h5, and now it's black who is starting to create problems for white, and there is not much white can do. In case of now king b1, black has this knight c4 move, and it's become clear that this bishop on h5 is placed awkwardly. We have a double attack, so Tal played knight b3 and black simply munched the pawn on a2. Yes, white is now in a very difficult situation, and then came that a pawn, rook d1, a4. Knight c5, of course no one will touch that knight. That can allow white to announce a checkmate, and so yes, since the pawn on b2 is hanging, white is forced to give up an exchange, but even this can't help him. Now these pawns are stepping forward, and victory is just a matter of moves. Bishop f3, queen a5, king b1, a2 check, king a1, bishop a6. Black is just doing great, and yeah, black has a winning position. Now black wants to get rid of the defender and announce a check from e5. Takes, queen e5 check, knight d4, queen c5, bishop e1, e5, knight f5, and the pawn on c2 also dropped. Yeah, it's over, guys, it's over. Rook a3, knight e3, a few more moves, and the magician from Riga resigned. Bishop e2, queen c2, and it's over. Tal resigned because a checkmate is coming. Yes, this white king is in a mating net. There are too many mating threats hanging in there. So this is it, dear chess lovers. Hope that you enjoyed the game. That was somewhat dubious queen sacrifice by Tal, and the 12-year-old Robert Seltzer managed to make use of it successfully. In the end, a chess puzzle for you where the task is to win with the white pieces. As usual, we'll wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in my next video. Take care.